Hello, hello, everybody. Just making sure we are live here. Yes, we are. We are live here on Facey. Good morning, good evening. Just tag everyone so they all know where to come. We are live. Good morning, good evening. Just give everyone a chance to find us. Give us a like and a love if you are joining us here today. I can't see who might be joining us. So let me know if you are joining me live. Let me know if you're joining me here. Hey, Karina, I see you here. Hello. How are you? Good to see you. All right. What we're talking about today, Patrick. Great to see you too. Thanks for turning up. All right, so today I'm going to give you some tips for handling the holiday season. Ah, yes, that time of year is upon us once again. So if you are, hi Adele, thanks for joining me. So if you are new around here and you're new to the group, you don't know who I am, hello, welcome. It's so good to have you here. And to all of my friends who are joining us, who know who I am, who've been following me for some time, great to have you back. Who am I? I am Karen. I'm the Plant Power Coach. I'm whole food plant-based certified, also certified health coach and life coach, and I help people achieve their healthiest selves in body, mind, and soul. Alrighty, so if you're watching the replay, type in hashtag replay or hashtag after party. Let me know that you're watching as well. Great. It's good to see you, Karina. All right. So tips for handling the holiday season. Yes, I know this is probably something that's on a few people's minds at the moment as we start to head into what can be a bit of a crazy season. And this sort of just reminded me of, I guess, when I was at my biggest weight struggle back in my 20s. I noticed that every time I wanted to start thinking about trying to lose some of this weight that I'd put on in my 20s, it would always seem to happen around about this time. As the weather starts to warm up for us over this side of the earth, I wasn't in Australia at that point, I was in New Zealand, and we start to think about beach time, we start to think about wearing less clothes, potentially shorts or skirts. I got used to wearing long pants or long dresses or jeans, and the thought of showing parts of my body during this summer season and potentially lying on the beach with a swimsuit on, I just felt really, really uncomfortable in my body. But I knew, and so I was prompting me to want to start to think about it. They say that everyone gets back to the gym or starts their, new healthy eating come spring. Well, here's what would happen as we'd start to get towards this time of the year, and I would recognize, oh my goodness, well, we can't do it now because there's Halloween and there's all the chocolate. And then there's all the Halloween parties that we got to go to as well. And then after that, it's like, well, then there's all the Christmas parties, the Christmas do's that happen. My birthday is a Christmas Eve. I would have other friends who would have birthdays and parties and things like that around the Christmas time as well. And so I felt like, I was constantly putting off that start date to start working on my goals because of all these events and things that were happening. Like, it just didn't seem like the right time to be focusing on them. And then of course I'd get to Christmas Day, eat all the food, get to New Year. Oh, then it's the New Year's celebrations, and then New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. I'm sitting there with my writing out my New Year's resolutions list and looking at the things that I didn't tick off from last year. And bloody hell, for how many years in a row, getting my body weight down to my ideal body weight, losing the weight that I had gained in my 20s, it was still sitting there on my to-do list. And I kept feeling like a bit of a failure. And every year I remember going into the new year thinking, this is going to be the year. Like, let me know if you've gone through that as well. Like, this is going to be the year that I clean up my act. This is going to be the year that I put my health first. This is the year that I'm going to get fit. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to lose the weight. And it would never seem to arrive. There would always be something that was standing in the way of me making change in my life and me moving forwards and achieving this goal. And it was all these, a lot of the time, it was all of these events that were happening from, from New Year, sorry, not from New Year, from Halloween, getting the name wrong, from New Year, Halloween through to that Christmas period, through to New Year. And then, oh my goodness, then what? Then we start off with January birthdays, February birthdays. And the list would keep going on throughout the rest of the year. And that's why I never seemed to really be able to get on top of what I was trying to do. What I found I was doing is that I was reacting to all of the events around me. And it's like I wanted all of the events to simply go away so that I could focus on everything in my life being perfect so that I could start working on achieving these goals. Right? And guess what? It wasn't working for me. And if any of you have, I guess, approached your health or your weight loss journey from that perspective, thinking, oh my God, I can't start now because we've got this event. Oh no, I can't start it then because we've got that event. I've got a wedding, I've got a birthday. Oh, now it's Christmas, it's New Year. Like, we're constantly putting off our start date because there is some sort of event in our life. That is the wrong way to approach this. Okay, it's not the way. Because guess what? All those birthdays, all those events, everything that has been happening is going to continue to happen. It happens every year. We all have birthdays every single year. We all have Christmas. We all have Halloween. We all have, in the US, you've got Thanksgiving as well. So, these events don't go away. What I realized that I needed to do was shift how I was showing up during these events, rather than expecting the events to just go away. And so here are some really key things that I have learned personally myself, and that I now help my clients with in terms of staying focused. There's the life coach coming out, Dell. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, well, everything is mindset. Everything is mindset. I can give you all the health coaching in the world, but if your mind is not in the right place, then you're going to struggle. So everything starts with how we think. So that's why I went and got certified as a life coach as well. Like, I wanted to, help you shift what's going on in here so that your actions shift and then your results shift as well. So coming back to it, here are some of the key things that I have learned that have helped me stay on track during these holiday events, because guess what? I go through these events too, right? It's Christmas for me, it's Halloween for me, it's Christmas parties, and over here in Australia we had the spring racing carnival period of time as well. Not that I get involved with that now, but in the past, I would go to all those parties as well. So it's like one after the other, after the other, after the other. You get to New Year, it's like, oh, can I just have a break? I feel terrible. And then it's because it's summer, they just carry on. So this is also what I help my clients with in terms of staying on a track throughout this period of the year, so that they can continue to feel healthy and so that they're not blowing out all of the hard work that they have been doing. I did have one client many years ago. She had been struggling to lose weight. She'd been trying for so long to actually lose weight, and she just had this belief that she couldn't. And she'd actually worked with another local nutritionist who was stumped as to what was going on as well. But we worked together, and I could see deeper than the layers that she was presenting, and there was a lot of holding on to old trauma, and there was she'd really considerably narrowed her dietary intake. That's why I talked about diversity last week as well. So she had narrowed down her plate to eating just potatoes, broccoli and cauliflower, and so her gut diversity was very narrow as well. So there were a few things that we were working on that helped her to expand her diversity, to start to work on these triggers and these traumas and this fear she was holding on to as well. And it was after in the run up to Christmas, and she was about 5 or 6 kilos down, and before we hit the Christmas period. And then over that Christmas New Year period, I gave myself a holiday. Like, see you later, guys. I'm gonna, give you all 2 weeks off from calls with me. But I need a bit of a break for the end of the year, so I'm gonna have a 2 week holiday. And so what happened with my client over these 2 weeks? She went and undid all her hard work, all of the incredible habits that we had been instilling in her that actually helped her to get about that 5 to 6 kilos down. She suddenly unwound over 2 weeks and then put, in terms of scale weight anyway, it probably wasn't all body fat, but in terms of scale weight, all that weight then just came back on. This is another reason why I decided to do this session, because we don't have to just because we're not just because we're in a holiday season or it's over Christmas does not mean we need to forget our healthy habits. So I want to help you maintain all of the healthy work that you have been doing during this season, instead of kind of throwing it all out the window just because it is Christmas, just because your routine is a little bit out of sync maybe with holidays. So let's get into it. This is why I want to help you stay on track and help you stay focused on what it is that you are doing, while also being able to enjoy some of the holiday as well. So this is not about restricting and denying yourself completely. We want to learn how to show up differently during each of these events that we're in. So let's dive on into it. Hey, Bridget, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Just read Karina's comment here. Karina, I'm going to be doing the same way of whole food, plant-based lifestyle eating as I've been doing. Well, it's a long comment. All year, not changing nothing because it's Christmas. Yeah, exactly. I don't change what I'm eating for anyone because I've spent this year getting to where I want, and I'm not spoiling that for anything. Yeah, that's amazing. Yes, that's amazing, Karina. That's sort of the approach that we want to take. But there are some tricky situations here, particularly for a lot of people who are brand new to this way of eating, or who feel really uncomfortable in certain situations, speaking up, getting their needs met, because of things that they possibly went through in their childhood, where speaking up and getting their needs met was met with feeling unsafe. So there are a lot of things that actually drive people towards making decisions for themselves that don't align with their goals during this period because of other things that they've gone through in their past and ways that they're feeling uncomfortable. So I want to unpack this for you today so that you can continue to feel safe about making healthy choices for yourself. And you know what? If you do decide to have a little indulgence, here's what you do. Here's how you do it so that you're not going to blow all of your hard work. Okay, so tip number 1. Get a pen and paper, because I'm just going to rattle these out to you. I haven't got them written down anywhere. Tip number 1 is to stay focused on these six daily habits that I teach for optimal health and weight loss. If you don't have my weight loss guide, my health and weight loss guide, I'm calling it my health and weight loss guide now. If you don't have that, there should be a link in the top of this post where you can download that, okay? Or just drop weight loss guide into the comments and I'll send that off to you. So what are those 6 habits? Remember this acronym, PLANTS, PLANTS. Focus on these 6 things every day and you are going to feel in tip-top shape. You are going to be able to achieve healthy weight loss goals. All right, so they're very, very simple habits that you can do every single day. P is for plants. Make plants the hero on your plate. No matter what else you choose to eat, if you are heroing plants on your plate and heroing that diversity that we talked about last week, then you are going to make sure that you're still feeding your body healthy nutrition. You're going to keep the calorie density low. You fill up on your plants first and then you have your little treats afterwards. So there's not a lot of room in there for all the little treats. You're still feeding your gut healthy fiber for healthy gut bacteria. If you continue to feed yourself diversity like we talked about last week, it's going to ensure that your gut health continues to thrive as well. So make plants, whole plants. Continue to make that the hero of what you put into your body. 2, the L is listen to your body. Okay, so this is where we are not just eating eating for hunger and satiation. Okay, that's part number one of listening to your body, is making sure that when you eat, you are actually hungry. No more of this like, oh, just grabbing little treats here and there because it's in front of you. All right, this is going to be really key. Listen to your body. Is your body actually hungry and needing food at the time? If not, then that's overeating. Right, that's just putting more calories into your body than your body actually needs. Listen to your body in terms of finding that satiation point, that 80% full. It's very, very easy when there's all this food, especially Thanksgiving time and Christmas, just to go blah, fill up, and then you feel terrible and you need a snooze afterwards. Let's practice not doing that anymore. If that's been a habit of yours, the food is not going to go anywhere. Like, it can't run away from you. You can pack it up and have leftovers, have some more tomorrow. That's the beauty about these sorts of events, is that we tend to make a huge amount of food and then we've got leftovers for days. Right? So allow that to be your truth as well. Right? So you do not need to eat all of the food. It's not a race. It's not a competition. Just get back into finding that satiation point in your belly. So one, eating for hunger, making sure you're satiated. Other parts to listening to your body, I'll talk about in a moment, all right? But that's what I want you to think about to start with. The A is water, aqua. Water, hydration. Make sure that you continue to stay hydrated. And for some reason, every time I talk about water, my brain goes, you haven't had any water, or you're thirsty, drink up. So that's what I'm doing now. Make sure you stay well hydrated, no matter what you're doing. If you are hydrated, you're going to have far less cravings. You will have far less faux hunger. You will have energy in your body. So you just feel so much better. Your health will be brimming when you are hydrated. So just keep that up no matter what you're putting into your body, especially if you're going to be consuming alcohol. Okay, I like a glass of wine, don't you worry. I'm not saying people shouldn't indulge or have a glass of wine if they want to. What I'm saying is make sure you stay hydrated throughout, okay? And nightly sleep. Now, yes, there are going to be some nights where you might have events and parties and things like that, and you might be staying up a little later, but make sure every other day that you are getting your sleep. You're getting that minimum of 7 hours of good quality sleep. Keep a nice steady rhythm in terms of your bedtime and your wake up. Your body loves that rhythm. All right, so make sure that you have really good sleep hygiene. If you struggle with your sleep, I have done a training in this group that you can go back and have a look at. Okay, I give you my top tips for getting a great night's sleep, and also what to do if you are one of those people who wake up in the middle of the night and struggle to get back to sleep. I've given you some really good tips for that as well. Me, last night, my cat scratched my eyelid. I'm so lucky that it wasn't my eyeball, because I woke up this morning. You might see it might look like I'm wearing eyeliner here. No, that's just bruising on my eye. I had to put some eyeliner on the other side to make it look like it's not so bruised and swollen. It's crazy. But yes, so this is what happens to me in the middle of the night. My cat's like pawing me. Feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. And I've constantly, because she's old, I think she's got dementia. I leave her bowl full of food, but I've got to actually get up and walk her to her bowl and make her eat there. Otherwise, she just stays there and pats and wakes me up the whole night. And then her little claws get stuck in all parts of my face, including my eyelids. So I am really, really good at getting back to sleep once I've woken up. I know how to do it, and I've got those tools for you as well. So if you do struggle with that, make sure that you go back and watch that training. It will be under the guides section in the group. Just look for that particular title. And every other night that you are, throughout this holiday period, make sure that you are still looking after your sleep hygiene. Okay. If you do have events and parties and you are staying out late, again, you get to bed a little bit later, but you make sure you get good sleep that night, and then just get straight back on track with normal rhythm the next day. Okay. T is to train your body. So just moving your body in ways that you really, really enjoy. Now, if that's a night of going out dancing, that can be your movement for the day. You don't have to go out and sweat it out, slog it out in the gym. You can just go out for a walk. Even if I've had an event on, I love to just get out in the fresh air and go walking the next day. I don't just sort of sit around, slob around home and go, I feel terrible, I feel tired. I like, get out, let's go walking, let's get some energy back into it. us, and drink lots of water and get straight back on track. So make sure that you're doing the same as well. And then the S in that plant's acronym is stress reduction. I cannot tell you how key reducing stress is to your journey. And I don't just mean stress. Oftentimes we think stress is, busyness, stuff going on around us. I've got too much to do. It's not just about that type of stress. It's about looking after your emotional health as well. Working on your emotional triggers, doing the internal work to heal from the inside. Okay, healing is an internal job. I'm talking about making sure that you're doing everything that you can every day to make sure that your nervous system is regulated, right? So that's my first tip. Make sure you are honoring those 6 habits every single day. Hero plants on your plate, listen to your body, hunger and satiation, aqua hydration, nightly sleep, train your body, and stress reduction. Okay, tip number 1. Do we have any questions so far? Thanks everybody for less depression scientifically proven. I think that's lines up with what I was just saying about stress reduction. Absolutely. Tip number 2. For those of you who know me, you'll know that I always preach planning ahead, making a plan ahead. So with my clients, it's usually about planning ahead for their week ahead, planning their week of food. Whether preparation comes into that or not is up to each individual person, but at least having a plan of what you are going to eat means that you are more likely to stay on track with eating the foods that are going to get you to the goal. So continue to do that with your week, including where you have events, right? All you do is you plan the event into your week as well. So, but what I want you to do in addition to this is where you do have an event, I want you to decide, I actually want you to plan out that event. I want you to decide ahead of time what specifically you are going to allow yourself to eat or drink, and I want you to plan how much, okay? That's it. And then you just stick to your plan. So, for example, one of my clients had an overeating problem in terms of it was a bit of a binge problem. And so he traveled twice while we were working together, overseas that is. And his normal, I guess, go-to was to think, oh, well, I'm on holiday and just eat. But this was actually causing him a problem in his health, not just even in his weight. It was actually giving him GERD, reflux, and to the point where his body was just so full of food that it had to try and start coming out somewhere because there was nowhere else for it to go. So one of the things that he adopted was this event planning strategy that I use with my clients, whereby he would, anytime he had an event that was outside the norm. So first of all, we got into daily planning, weekly planning, and listening to his body to start with. But also when it came to specific event planning, today I'm going out to dinner or lunch with a friend. Oh, now I'm actually traveling and I'm going to be going to these, I'm going to be going to these locations and I'm going to be doing these things, is that I got him to make a plan every single day. And he would plan out the specific event. He would plan out his day, and then he would plan out the specific event. He would decide exactly what he was going to be eating. Now, if you're going out to dinner, if you're going out to somebody else's place, if you're going out to a restaurant or an event where there's going to be catering and you don't know exactly what's on the menu, what I'm talking about here is deciding ahead of time what you will and what you will not allow yourself to indulge in. So it's about having a top line idea of what you will and won't consume. So for example, anytime I go out for dinner, I know that I'm going to relax my whole, I don't like to use the word rule, but my whole guideline around food. I know that restaurants are likely going to be cooking with oil. I know that there might be some white flour. I know there might be something like faux cheese. I don't really like faux meat anyway, but if there's a nice faux cheese, I might have a pasta with a little bit on it. But I will relax my my internal rule around the food being whole. At home, it's whole. When I eat out, I just relax that somewhat. And same with events. That's what I'm saying I will and won't allow myself to eat. For some of my clients, it has been around, okay, I know that there is going to be some turkey served up at Thanksgiving or on Christmas Day, and I'm going to allow myself to have a little bit of that because I want it. And so they make that decision ahead of time. They decide how much they're going to have, and they stick to their plan. Okay, that's what I want you to do as well. You are simply going to plan your events. Keep planning your week as normal, prepping your week as normal, but anytime you have a specific event that is outside of your normal, I want you to specifically plan for that, okay? When you have a plan, you're more likely to stick to it, as opposed to just giving in to your wants and desires in the moment when you are faced with a whole heap of temptation. Okay, one other thing that you can do, you can look at how you can recreate some of your favorite meals or holiday treats in a plant-based way. So you don't have to have the exact same meal or recipe that, say, mum or grandma used to make. Why am I just using females here? That anyone in your life used to make. Let's get out of that space. In order to enjoy the experience or to recreate that experience, right? It doesn't have to be exactly the same. So, for example, when I grew up, we used to have turkey with stuffing. Mum would make a breadcrumby, herby stuffing, and then we would have tons of roasted vegetables with that. And for dessert, we would always have a big batch of fresh berries, which I loved, and then we would have them either with some ice cream, like vanilla ice cream, or some cream, and a little sprinkling of icing sugar. So that was kind of like my memories growing up about the food that we would have at Christmas time, at least. And so now, at Christmas time for me, I make this, I found this beautiful apple, pistachio, and cranberry roast. And it's so delicious. It's like stuffing. And so I get to recreate all those beautiful flavors, but in what I think is an even better way. It's so delicious. If you want to find this recipe, it's from the plantritionist. Sorry, just trying to remember the name of her, the plantritionist. So if you Google the plantritionist, so like nutritionist but with plants, and I think it's .com.au. Have a look for her recipes there, and she's got some festive recipes. They're really, like, her flavors are amazing. So I make that roast, and she also has a beautiful gravy as well. So I make the gravy, and then she has a recipe for a maple glaze, which I then use when I roast vegetables, and you just put this glaze on the top and they just come out so beautiful, and like this little sort of like mapley sweetie type flavor, and it's just absolutely delicious. So that now for me for Christmas has been like a go-to for Christmas Day lunches whenever I'm with a group of friends, or when I'm with my family. Obviously, there have been times when I've gone out to lunch, so obviously not choosing that then. But when I'm making food, if I go around to a friend's house, or if I go home for Christmas, that is what I make, and I make it for everyone. I'm not just making it for me. I'm making enough for everyone. If everyone wants some, then they can have some. Absolutely. So I'm making sure that I'm taking care of my needs, and I'm recreating something that feels, brings the essence of the celebration to my palate. I then also have, because we grew up with berries for dessert, then I have a big bowl of berries I make some cashew cream and just drizzle a little bit of maple syrup on that to get that little burst of sweetness, this brings home all of those flavors for me, and it really helps me feel like I'm being part of the season. I'm not missing out. I'm doing things in a beautiful, healthy way that helps me stay on track with not just my goals, not just my health goals, but who I am now. Like, I'm a different version of me now, and that's really what it's all about. Okay, that was tip number 3. Okay, so tip number 4. This is if you're going somewhere where you are not going to be in charge of the food. So what you want to do here is make sure that you speak up and get your dietary requirements met. Don't just assume, don't just wing it, and don't stand back in fear, wondering what people are going to think of you. It's like, oh, I'm going to be a problem for someone. No, you're not. I want you to treat this as seriously as you would, say, someone with celiac who cannot eat gluten, or somebody who has a serious anaphylactic peanut allergy. I want you to treat it that seriously, because you know what? The right people do not mind. If you're going to, say, a catered event, then you just got to remember that caterers are very used to dealing with dietary requirements. They have to. It's their business. Like, they don't want to be responsible for killing somebody. And so one of my clients, Annie, she was terrified of speaking up. She was going to I think it was a retreat, and she was terrified of, like, oh my God, what about the food? And I said, just message them and ask them. And so she's like, so I helped her write what she was going to say. And anyway, she went off and she sent them a message, and then they came back going, done, easy, no sweat. She's like, oh my God, it was so easy. And they made her the most delicious food for that event. She felt so taken care of. And then she had another event coming up. And again, like, just that little bit of like, was coming up for her. And you know why this is? You know why this comes up for us? It's because somewhere in our past, we were made to feel like it was unsafe to get our needs met. All right. And so what we actually want to do is we want to lean into this discomfort. And the more that you do this and you learn how to speak up in a way that gets your needs met, and your needs are met graciously, you teach yourself that it's actually okay to ask. It's actually okay to speak up, and that your needs matter, right? So this is what was going on for her. So anyway, second event came around, and she was still a little bit like, ooh, about this. And so I said, lean into it again. You've done it once, and look how amazing they were. Look how much they catered to you. And she's like, yeah, that's right. And so she did it again, second event. And then guess what happened at the second event? Second event, the chef says, oh my God, I'm whole food plant-based. Easy, done. So good to know that there's someone else out there. So again, you never know what you're going to experience. It doesn't, you may think that you're being a problem, right? But I want you to remember that just comes from somewhere in your past. Someone made you feel like you were a problem because you had needs. So that's a wound to heal. And showing yourself a new reality right now, that it is actually okay to get your food needs met, is really, really important. You need to lean into that and show yourself that it is possible. All right. Even if the event you're going to is not like a professionally catered event, even if it's just going out with friends or family, I still want you to speak up. You never know who else in your life might be considering plant-based, might be plant-based, may have plant-based people in their life and know exactly how to cater to it. You just don't know what might be going on. So, there was somebody who posted in, I think, one of the Forks Over Knives groups just the other day, and she said, oh my goodness, help, I'm going to an event, with some friends, and like, we're going to dinner at their place. So I could tell she's just getting really uncomfortable. It's like, what do I do? What do I say? And I just said, look, honestly, in these situations, you just have to get on the front foot and let them know what you do and don't eat. And like I said here, treat it as seriously as if you did have an allergy. And just let them know, like, give them, instead of assuming that you are going to be a problem. Again, that's because when you had needs in the past, somebody made you think that you were a problem because you had needs. All right. So we've got to move through this. We've got to learn to heal this wound, recognize where it came from, and realize it doesn't need to be your future moving forwards. So make a different decision. And so that was my advice to her. You've just got to lean into this. You've just got to speak up and just let them know what your needs are. And if they feel confused or confronted or whatever it might be, help them out. Say, get on the front foot with helping them with a menu, or offer to bring food so that they can contribute, to the dinner, but they get their needs met, but they're also, offering food to everybody else. Or they could simply eat beforehand and go to the dinner to, enjoy people's company. But you just need to speak up and get your needs met. And so then she came back later with an edit to that post. and excuse me, I'm going to sneeze, and saying, oh my God, so exciting. So I told her what we were eating and what we weren't. She goes, oh my God, we're plant-based too. See, like I say, you never know. You just never know. So speak up. Speak up. It's okay to get your needs met. And if you feel like having needs is a problem, you feel like you are a problem for asking, we've got some inner healing work to do there, okay, to help you feel safe with this. And one of the best ways to help you feel safe is just to lean into that discomfort and do it. Don't ever wing it, is what I'm going to say. Okay, tip number 5, I think. This is number 5. When you're going to events and parties and things like that, you may have cravings or urges for some of those foods that are at those events. So I want you, if you are, say, moving away from things like sugar, if you've had a bit of a craving for sugar, or maybe it's cheese, or there's going to be turkey there, it's like, I just want to be able to have turkey, whatever it might be for you. I want you to prepare for that and expect it. Expect the cravings to be there, expect the urges to be there. One of my clients was like, every time we get together for family Christmas, my mum makes this particular dip and I just really, really love it. And I was like, and I just want to have some. And I said, okay, we're going to prepare for this. All right. You're going to recognize that you're going to be around this food. So you are going to have some cravings, you are going to have some urges, but what I want to help you do is just to allow those to be there and not make them a problem. Okay, don't fight the urge, don't give into it either, right? Just to remind yourself of who you are now, that food is not your friend, that food actually doesn't feel good in your body, that not just holds you back from your health and your weight loss goals, but actually you can feel it having an impact on your body. And nobody else in your family, is as connected to their body as you are. They probably do feel awful after eating it, but they don't have the strength within them to say no. But this is what we're building in you, right? You just allow that urge and that desire to be there, and it's okay. We just don't want to make it a problem. We don't want to give into it, okay? Your cravings, your urges will go away. The way to make them go away is to actually reprogram the circuits in your brain here that stop that desire and make them go away. This is part of what I teach my clients to do. All right, so it can be a little bit tricky, but if you feel like you need some help and support with that, I've got you. All right. Tip number 6. I think we're up to here 6. What happens if you make a mistake? Okay, if you make a mistake, never, ever, ever beat yourself up. Never go down the, you were so stupid. Why did you do that? That doesn't help anything. That just makes you feel worse. Makes you feel like a failure. Makes you feel like you can't do it. And that's just not helpful at all, right? Just go, you know what? I made that decision. Own the decision. Like, just own the decision. It's okay. Yeah, okay, I made that decision. What did my body think about that decision? And just get back into your body. And this is the second part of listening to your body, is listen to how your body responded to that decision that you made, whether it was food, whether it was, alcohol, whatever that decision was. Did my body like it? Did it not? Let your body be the decision maker in future. And one of my clients recently, she messaged me and she was like, I'm at this thing and there's some cheesecake there and I just want to have some. I said, look, I'm not your mum. You can have that if you want to make a decision to have some of that. I think it was a cheesecake, and said you just need to make that decision and just be okay with that decision, and then just ask your body, was that decision the right decision? And stop panicking and don't beat yourself up if you make that decision and then your body said no. Just listen to your body, okay? And so she made that decision, and so she thought, okay, just a few bites won't hurt. And then she had a few bites of something else, and then she had a few bites of something else, and then she realized, a few bites of lots of things my body doesn't like. A few bites of one thing or a couple of things may be okay, but if I just keep telling myself a few bites is okay, a few bites is okay, a few bites is okay, then that's when my body turns around and says, no, a few bites is not okay. All right, so just own your decisions. Own, it's not necessarily a mistake. It's like just choose, make the decision, own the decision, and then just ask your body what you thought of that. It's only food at the end of the day, and just allow your body to be the one that guides you back to health. Um, Tip number 7. Saw some comments coming through here. Yes, end of the day, it's about who you are, not your health. Yes, beautiful. Hey Cheryl, hey Deb. Thanks for watching. All right, so tip number 7, this is for you if you are new at, say, plant-based eating, or new at turning up to social events, being the plant-based person, eating differently to everybody else. Guess what? You might want to expect and prepare for some attention and possibly some never-ending questions, or whatever it might be, like, statements about, oh, no protein in that, or whatever it might be, right? When you turn up and you're eating differently to other people, then oftentimes that can be noticed. So just be aware of that, and just notice if that starts to feel really tight for you. If that feels if being different to you, if for you, if being different to other people is triggering, then there's some core wound in you that needs to be healed as well, okay? But we'll talk about that in a moment. But what I want you to do now is, if you are new to plant-based eating, then kind of do prepare and expect for some attention about what is or isn't on your plate. And also just know that if people are getting funny about it, just know that their being triggered really doesn't have anything to do with you. Just know that they are feeling uncomfortable in their own skin, and allow them to feel uncomfortable. You don't have to fix that. You don't have to, you don't have to make that go away. Just witness them feeling uncomfortable. If they're feeling triggered and saying things to you, what usually is going on is they're recognizing that you are changing, you're doing something really intentional for yourself, and they're feeling that bit of disconnection from you. They and they start to look at themselves, and it's like, oh, well, I'm not taking the best care of myself. Maybe I should be doing something like that. It's not necessarily conscious thinking that's going on. This is all very much below the surface of what's going on and why they're feeling uncomfortable. So just allow them to feel uncomfortable. Allow them to say what they're going to say. You don't need to argue or fight with them. You don't need to worry about anything. Just have a little bit of a, oh yeah, Karen told me this was going to happen. When somebody's trying to get me to eat something that I don't want to eat, when they're, hassling me for what is or isn't on my plate, they're feeling uncomfortable. Oh, I'm just going to witness them being uncomfortable and allow them to be uncomfortable. It's okay, all right? They've just got stuff going on internally for them. They're feeling a little disconnected from you. You are different in some way, and that's triggering them, and then they're also not taking the best care of themselves. They want everybody to be the same again so that they feel safe, all right? That's all that's going on. And for most of us, we are the different one. If you've grown up feeling different to everybody, then you kind of get used to it. But for some people, being different to others felt really, really unsafe growing up. And so when you do go on this journey and you start to feel different to other people, it can be really triggering to you. So if you do have difficulty during this time being around other people and eating differently, then this is a big opportunity for growth for you. Right? This is a time to really lean into that discomfort and move through it and not sabotage yourself. So I have a client at the moment, who's just finished up with me, and she felt really, really uncomfortable about eating differently to other people, about, even just being around people when other people were eating, even if it was just catching up for coffee. If somebody was having cake, she felt like she had to have cake too. And something within her just felt really, really triggered about being different or being seen to be different. There was just that fear of disconnection from people. So she grew up in an environment where everything was about food. Connection was about food. Celebrating everything was about food. And everybody had to be the same. If people were different, or that was really quite triggering. So for her now, trying to go on this health journey, wanting to heal her body, reverse disease, lose weight, all of her friends were, guess what, unhealthy, had diseases to reverse, and were trying to lose weight as well. So, her actually being successful at that meant, oh my goodness, I'm now different from my friends. Her going plant-based meant, oh my goodness, I'm now eating things that are different to my friends. So it was really, really triggering for her. And that's a real opportunity for growth for her, is to actually start moving into that discomfort and helping herself feel okay and feel safe about being different, and realizing that being different is actually her power. And the more that she can step into being different and having a different result while still being able to build connections with the people that she loves in her life, the more that she can then be a shining light for them and lead them, because someone needed to. They were all otherwise keeping each other stuck. The herd was keeping themselves stuck. The herd were like leading each other off the cliff. It needed one person to turn around and go, hang on, the cliff's over there. I'm going to go back this way. And if you guys realize, you can come with me as well. So that's that. I want you to think about it from that perspective. If you are really triggered yourself about being different to other people, then this is your internal work to do. And I want you to lean into that discomfort and start to show yourself that it's actually okay to eat differently to other people, to be different to other people, to have different ideals and different values to other people, and just allow other people to be who they choose to be as well. And if they choose to come on the journey with you, then that's beautiful, right? It's a big part of what I coach my clients through. I've forgotten what number we're up to, 8 maybe. 8, if you have some food pushers, if you're in an environment where you have some food pushers, okay, so this is going to be really important to you. If you feel like you have to eat the food because somebody's insisting you do, then again, that's like, oh, am I letting somebody down? What is your story around that? What are you telling yourself? Where does it feel unsafe for you to say no? So if you feel like you're letting somebody down because you say no to a food pusher, what is that story? And what do you think they are making it mean? Also, I had a client, I can't remember who this was now. I just wishing I could remember her name, but I had a client who, I think it was her mother-in-law, someone like that anyway. She would go to have dinner there, and I can't remember, I think it was Christmas, can't recall. I wish I could remember the details. But I remember she said the mother-in-law made her some non-dairy arancini, and I think she made them with this nasty vegan cheese. And they were huge, apparently, like these massive things. And she said she made like 12 of them or something, or 24 or something, where they're heaps. And she made those for my client for like a starter, like an entree. Oh, you guys in the US say entree is your main, but like the starter meal. And she's like, there's no way I was going to be out, like maybe one, but they weren't even that nice and nobody wanted to eat them. And so, but the mother or mother-in-law was throwing a bit of a tantrum because she didn't want to eat them all. Like, she was actually having this emotional thing going on. And so my client felt really uncomfortable about this. And I said to her, look, it's probably, making food for people is probably a love language for her. This act of service of providing food is probably the way that she shows people love, and people eating her food and the food that she's given them is probably her way of receiving love. And so you not eating it is almost in her mind will be saying she's rejecting me, she doesn't like me, she doesn't love me. And so, I'm not here to coach the mother-in-law, but I was here to coach the client and say you've got to learn how to approach this in a way whereby you just need to explain to her what you do and don't want. Like, you can't eat all. You say something like, well, I know you've cooked this beautiful main meal that I really want to have space for, so I'm only going to have one of these because I don't want to fill my belly with this, because I know that there's more coming later. And it's about, learning how to have those uncomfortable conversations with people, learning how to say no. If you are afraid to say no to people, where in your life was it difficult, or where was it challenging, or where did it feel dangerous to say no to somebody, especially around food, right? Did you have food pushes in your life growing up that or did you get in trouble for not eating? For example, some people, some of the older generations after World War II were taught, you've got to clean your plate, you've got to eat all the food because we don't know, food shortage, we don't know when we're going to have food again. And so it encourages some people to actually just continually push food on people. It's like, and also some people feel like making food for other people is their way of showing love. And if people don't eat that food, then, oh my God, you're not loving me. You're not showing, you're not accepting my love, and therefore you don't love me. So if you feel uncomfortable about saying no to people, where have you experienced something like that in your past, or where has it been felt dangerous or sticky for you to be able to say no, to be able to say, I've had enough, I can't eat anymore, I don't want anymore, or that is not what I eat. That's another one for people as well. Sorry, but I don't eat that food. And again, taking it right back to what I said in the beginning, treat this as seriously as like an allergy, as a peanut allergy, for example. If somebody's trying to push meat or dairy on you and you don't want to eat that food, then you just say to them, sorry, I don't eat that food. I don't eat that food. I'm allergic to it. I always say to people, use the word allergy, right? Nobody can argue with an allergy. Like, people want to argue with the personal preference and try and push things on you so that they can feel comfortable and safe. But if you use that word allergy, they got nothing to come back on. So use it as much as possible, okay? And lean into saying no or holding your boundary here. All right, this is a boundary. It's not about allow that other person to want to push food on you. Don't make it a problem that they do. Don't bitch and whinge about it, because you just got to recognize that person is just trying to show you love, and their way of feeling love is you eating that food. So how can you help them feel loved and feel appreciated for all the work that they've done and all the food that they've cooked for you? How can you still help them feel loved and appreciated, but still get your need, or not eat all the food if you don't want to? All right, and learn how to say no. Okay, does anyone have any questions about any of that? How are we feeling about getting through the holidays, staying on track, getting your needs met, not going completely off the rails and undoing all of the work that you've been doing over the last year? How are we all feeling about that? Let me know in the comments. And is there something that I haven't covered that you want me to cover? Is there a question that you have that I haven't thought of yet? Let me know, and I'll do my best to answer that. But this is years of me finding my own way, learning how to be different to others, particularly around food, particularly around being vegan, plant-based. That was a real trigger for me to start with. And also then, seeing what my clients experience and how they go through certain things, and helping them shift their thinking and the way that they honor themselves during these periods as well. And so I want to bring my best tips and tricks for you as well. Okay, so let's just go through key takeaways from today. One, stick with the 6 key healthy habits that'll get you, it'll just make sure that you mostly stay on track through the holidays. So remember the PLANTS acronym. Grab my health and weight loss guide if you don't have that, if you don't know what the 6 healthy habits are. So remember the acronym PLANTS, 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 plant-based nutrition, fill your body with plants, listen to your hunger and satiation cues, aqua hydration and nightly sleep, tea, train your body, just move your body in ways that you enjoy every single day, and stress, make sure you're bringing down that stress in your body, okay? So stick to those 6 key healthy habits, you'll stay on track. You do not have to throw away your health or your weight loss goals just because it's party season, right? You do not have to. Always have a plan ahead of time. Decide ahead of time what you're going to allow yourself to have, whether that's food or alcohol. Stick to your plan. That's the biggest thing. This is about building trust with yourself. It's about honoring your commitment to yourself. It's about training yourself to simply make decisions. It's training yourself out of just making decisions in the moment based on the temptations that are in front of you. You're deciding ahead of time what's going to help you stay on track. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Take responsibility for getting your own food needs met. Don't just wing it. Don't just assume, and don't just turn up and go, there's nothing for me. Make sure there is. Learn to become comfortable with being different to other people. Lean into that. Heal some old wounds if you need to. This is what I do help people do. Recognize that other people might get uncomfortable with you. Recognize that discomfort in other people, that because you might be doing something differently, eating differently to them, and recognize that it has nothing to do with you. It's just the story that they're running in their own mind, right? It's about their own discomfort in what they're doing for themselves. And also they might be feeling just a little bit disconnected because doing something being different to other people's is a little bit triggering. Just recognize that you being different is triggering something uncomfortable in them that they're just reacting to, all right? And choose to step into your own power. You don't need to react to them, just allow them to be. You don't need to fix them, don't need to help them feel comfortable. Your job is to make you feel comfortable, right? But stick to your guns, including with food pushes. Okay, team, that is it for today. And just a reminder that in a couple of weeks, I'm starting my very last weight loss challenge for the year. This is kicking off on November the 11th, my time. That's US the 10th. US the 10th. That's November the 10th for anyone in the US or Canada. This was going to be a really small group. I only want a small group of people. I want people who are actively looking for solutions to long-term, healthy, sustainable weight loss. All right. So don't just come if you just want a free training that you're never gonna commit to coming to. Okay. I really want people who are going to commit to the journey with me, because this is going to be a small, intimate space where I'm going to be coaching you for 5 days. Right. So you want to make sure that I'm looking for people who are actively looking for help and solutions to achieve their weight loss struggle. You are either plant-based or you want to transition to being plant-based, or you might even be on the journey at the moment, but there is something sticking for you and you can't work out what it is, and you want help figuring that out. Okay. If you're already on a roll with your weight loss and nothing's a problem, then this is not for you. All right. So there will be replays, even though I want people who can commit to the sessions. I know that the time is not going to work for absolutely everybody, so there will be replays available if you can't make the session, but I also want somebody who's going to be committed to watching the replay so that you're keeping up with the day's teachings, trainings, activities. The whole idea is that I'm helping you unwind whatever's going on in the background for you. I'm helping you understand simple, healthy habits and help you get into the right mindset for this. Okay, so with what I teach, as you know, there are no tricks, there are no gimmicks, there are no counting calories and counting macros and bullshit that you can't see yourself doing at age 90. Right. This is all just very simple stuff, but sometimes it's really hard for us simply because of some negative narratives that we have in our mind. So I'm going to be helping you with all of that. We're going to be diving into self-sabotage. So if you are self-sabotaging yourself at the moment, oh my God, this is going to be good for you. We want to get you out of that space. We want to get you moving forwards. So if you feel like this is what you need, you want to learn long-term sustainable healthy habits, food habits, mindset, then this is the training for you. You're not going to find yourself, signing up to some MLM to be drinking weight loss drinks that are going to teach you nothing. Okay, I'm about helping you take back the power in your life, in your body, in your health, in your weight. This is why I'm the plant power coach. It's all about helping you feel powerful in yourself so that you have all the tools to be able to achieve the results that you want to achieve in your body forever. Okay. All right, so if that's you and you would like more information on this training, please drop weight loss challenge into the comments below and I will reach out to you. In fact, why don't you message me? You message me, because if we're not friends on Facebook, then my message to you is going to get blocked. All right, so you message me, and so that way we can start the conversation going. Just message me and go, hey, I'm interested in the November weight loss challenge. And what we'll do, we'll just jump on a quick 10-minute call. I just want to meet you face to face, put a face to the name, and I just want to dive in and just quickly understand a little bit about you, where you're at in your journey, and just make sure that this is perfect for you, because obviously I've got limited spaces and I want to make sure that it is going to be right for where you are at the moment. Okay, so if that is you and you want information, message me. We'll set up that call. work out if it's going to be perfect for you, and then we can get you registered and in. And then, oh my goodness, holy smokes, who knows what you could be achieving by the time that you get to New Year this year. Like, who knows, could be another, you could be 10 pounds down by the time you get to New Year, and those weight loss goals could be, you know, well and truly on the way for you. That's what I would love to help you achieve. So yeah, if that's what you would like help with, then by all means, let's have a chat. Anyway, just checking this for one last shower. Thanks for joining us, Cheryl. Chris, thank you for staying. Wow, I know that I can sometimes just waffle on, but you know what? I'm here to help. I'm here to help you succeed. Thanks for joining or tuning in today, and I will be back next week. Check the events calendar for the events that are coming up, so you know what particular topics I'm going to be talking to. And also, if there's something that you are struggling with, that you want some help with, let me know, because then I can make sure I'm tailoring these trainings for you, and where you're getting stuck with certain things as well. Okay. But ciao for now, guys. It's been wonderful. I'm going to end